As you know, I'm always looking for ways to work the system and do things for cheap. As you also know, if you watched my previous video about weight loss, I'm trying to get into better shape. Now, in case you're wondering how that's going, the answer is not well. But in order to facilitate my weight loss regimen, I really want to go out and get a barbell. At least I did, until I saw the price. Now, it's not that they're actually that expensive, it's just that I don't really feel like paying over $100 just for something heavy to pick up and put back down again. So instead, I started thinking of ways to make one for cheap. I mean, how complicated can it be? It's just heavy things on a handle, right? So today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own barbell set for about half the price of the store-bought one. And in addition to the lower price, there are a few other added benefits to making your own as well. So watch and learn today as we build muscle, not debt. I got almost everything for this project from Home Depot, plus a few things at Walmart and one thing online. So everything you need should be readily available wherever you are, and pretty cheap to boot. Here's a list of the materials you'll need. A 48-inch long steel pipe. I used a 1/2-inch diameter pipe, for reasons I'll explain later in the video. You'll also need 2 1/2-inch diameter couplers, 2 1/2-inch diameter caps, 2 6-inch long 1/2-inch diameter steel nipples. Oh, grow up. That's just what they're called. Some 12-inch by 12-inch concrete pavers, and a yoga mat. This project also requires a couple of tools, and here's what you'll need. Spray glue and duct tape, a pencil, a straight edge and compass, scissors, a 1-inch masonry bit, and a power drill. So this masonry bit is kind of a specialized thing. It's actually the single most expensive part of this project if you end up buying one. Now this may not be a good investment for a lot of you because you're unlikely to really need it for any future projects. So ask around and see if maybe you can borrow one from someone, if that's a possibility. But even if you do end up going out and buying one, the total cost of this project is still way less than if you went out and bought a whole set of store-bought weights. Also, those of you who are familiar with tools may already be saying to yourself, hey, if you're drilling through concrete, don't you need a hammer drill instead of just a regular power drill? Well, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that the answer to that question is a absolute 100% guaranteed maybe. The concrete pavers you get might be a little different, but probably not too different. These aren't the super heavy-duty poured concrete that they use in construction, which is really super hard. Oh, god damn it. Stop! Anyway, these pavers are actually kind of soft as far as concrete goes, almost crumbly, and I really didn't have any trouble getting through it with just my standard power drill and a masonry bit. Now, of course, if you want to go out and buy a hammer drill for $100, you're more than welcome to. But most average Joes don't get a whole lot of use out of one unless you're doing a lot of masonry projects around the house. Plus, buying it for this project will raise the price of the project up so high that at that point you may as well just buy yourself a set of weights and save yourself all this time and trouble. But enough with all that, let's get started. As you may have guessed, the pavers are going to be the weight plates. These weigh about 17.5 pounds each, so using 3 on each end will give us a weight of 105 pounds, plus the weight of the bar and the fittings, which is another 5 pounds, for a total weight of 111 pounds. Now, it's hardly beast mode, but it's a good place to start. First, attach the couplers and the pipe extensions to the long pipe. If you want to start with only 2 pavers per side, you'll need 4-inch long extensions instead of 6-inch. Draw lines diagonally from corner to corner to find the center of each paver. Drill through the paver with the masonry bit. The pipe should fit smoothly, but not too loosely through the hole. No! Enough of that. Now if they seem to be moving around too much, 1 or 2 layers of duct tape on the pipe will fix that right up. Cut the yoga mat into 11-inch squares. Draw diagonal lines to find the center, and cut out a 1-inch hole. These are going to be gaskets to cushion the pavers from each other. I also cut out a few smaller, donut-shaped gaskets to protect the pavers from the couplers and the caps. Put the gaskets and the pavers onto the bar, and screw on the end caps. Then I cut a few rectangular pieces of the mat, glued them onto the handle, and secured them with duct tape to make a non-slip handle. This will be a lifesaver once your hands start to sweat. Also, I cut up the remaining yoga mat to use as pads to rest the barbell on when not in use. And that's it. Really simple and cheap. Let's take a look at the breakdown on cost. At Walmart, which is about the cheapest place to buy a new set of weights, a weight bar costs $29.47, and 25-pound weight plates cost $19.27 each. To get approximately the same weight that we've built here, you'd need 4 plates. The total cost for this setup would then come up to $106.55. To build our own, we had to buy a lot of small separate parts, which are itemized here. The funny part is, it costs exactly the same amount to build your own weight bar as it does to buy one. Still, I recommend building your own because it works much better with these DIY concrete pavers than the store-bought bar would. Now that's important because it's the pavers where you really see the price difference. 100 pounds of store-bought metal weights cost almost $80. 105 pounds of concrete weights cost a little under $9. That is a huge savings. After that, we have the yoga mat, which is pretty self-explanatory, and the masonry bit, which will require a brief discussion momentarily. But overall, you can see that in terms of materials alone, doing this yourself costs less than half the price of a store-bought set, and even with that expensive masonry bit, it is still significantly cheaper. Now, like I said, this 1-inch masonry bit is the most expensive part of the project, but hopefully you can avoid actually having to buy one if you can borrow one from somewhere. Now, if you do have to go out and buy one, I got this one on eBay for $16, which is not too bad. They're more expensive in stores, closer to like $30. But if you like this project and you think you're gonna someday add more plates to your barbell set, or if you think you might have to end up replacing them due to wear and tear, $16 or even $30 isn't really such a bad investment. Or you could always buy the bit, use it for this project, and then try and sell it back for a couple of bucks used on eBay. You'll get at least some of your money back. Oh, by the way, the reason I used a 1/2-inch diameter pipe is because that's the size pipe that will fit through the hole drilled by a 1-inch masonry bit. If you want to use a bigger pipe, you'll have to use a masonry bit larger than 1 inch, but those are pretty hard to find, even online, and exponentially expensive. So,
and to make a long story short, too late!
The size of the pipe was determined by the size of the largest drill bit I could easily find. Now, as for those added benefits I talked about earlier, personally, I think the aesthetic of these weights is a major selling point. They look like serious business. Do you remember Rocky IV when Ivan Drago was in that high-tech gym? The Rocky is up in the Siberian mountains chopping wood and doing pull-ups over flaming oil barrels and all that. And you're just like,
right on! Let's do it! Rock that world! Rock that world!
Well, this has that same feel. It's very rough, rugged, kind of badass. On a more practical level, one thing I like about this setup is that the plates are square, not round, so you don't really need a rack to store it on, and you don't have to worry about it rolling around on you when you're not using it. However, underneath this tough exterior is a fairly brittle interior, so use a little bit of caution. Don't slam them down, because they can crack or even shatter. But they should be durable enough for everyday use. And if something should happen and one of these should break, like I said, they only cost about $2 each, so even if you break a plate, it doesn't have to break the bank. Alright, that's how we do it. Have fun with these, be careful, and use responsibly. And if you can still lift your arms, then you can reach out and hit that like, share, or subscribe button. We'll see you next time.